Everybody, how are we doing? It is Friday night. It is Q&A, you guys. Q&A. Ask away, you guys. I want to go over a few things today just to clear some things up, or maybe some questions that may have been wondering about in before. So I want to go over some of those questions, but if you have questions, go ahead and ask away. Any addressing any question that you have, but I'll go ahead and start with one thing for you. All right, so I have heard a few things, or there's been one or two things that may have been a question, not just from one or two, but probably you as well. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's also thought this back in the day as well. But one thing I want to address is there a specific time that you should stop eating? Is there a specific time that you should have your meals timed out? Is there times that you have to eat specific foods, right? These are all things that are going through our heads, especially with our fitness journey and how we are doing in our fitness journey. All these questions are unanswered. We're trying to find answers, Google them. We're trying to figure out what works best. And honestly, everybody, it is what works best with your schedule, because if you're hungry, you just need to eat. Especially if you're working out very hard and you're working out consistently, you still need to eat. You need to eat. You need to give yourself energy. You need to give that fuel back into your muscles. So remember, when we're in the gym, we're not actually building muscle. We're ripping the muscles apart with micro tears. And what is food for that, right? Food is to replace all of the energy that was depleted from those muscles that you worked, and then help recover and build those muscles back up. So skipping meals or intermittent fasting, depending on whatever works best for you, it is just not sustainable for the rest of your life. So if you are doing a diet that you think has been working so far, that's great. But I want you to ask yourself, is this something that I can sustain for the rest of my life? And that's a good question, right? What is something that you can sustain for the rest of your life? And that is eating a regular diet that you can do and that you are good with, adding in all of your macronutrients, which is your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. We can't cut any of those out. Obviously, if there is something that you do have to cut out because of doctor's orders, then do that. But make sure you're trying to get in all of those macros in every meal that you have. So in every meal, try and have some veggies. Every meal, have some protein. Lean protein is more suggested, but if you don't have access to that right away, find something else. Find some other protein that you like. Something that you can still add to your diet and feel good about the decision that you made. Now, when you are doing this, find foods that make you feel energized, that make you feel really good, that allow you to have more energy throughout the day, and then wake up with more energy. Obviously, I'm not a very good morning person. I am absolutely exhausted when I wake up, but which is quite odd because I'm up pretty early, right? I'm up pretty early. But it's more of, I do eat before going to bed, not exactly right before. I do take my own advice and I eat about 30 to 45 minutes before bed if I'm hungry. I drink another full bottle of water about 45 minutes before I go to bed. And the next morning, I don't feel as dehydrated. I feel a little bit more energized, that I can actually pull some energy out of somewhere and then feel good about the next day. So these are some things that you have to ask yourself. If you're waking up really lethargic and absolutely exhausted, but you didn't do as much as you used to doing, then are we eating enough? So that's another question that you do want to ask yourself is, are we eating enough during that time? Are we giving ourselves enough calories to repair the muscles that we ripped away and depleted during our workouts? Did you give your body enough rest? Did you give your body enough hydration? Were you drinking enough water for the next day? All of that comes into account. So There's not specific times you need to eat, but there's times that when you have available, like your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner times, make those a priority for you to eat. And then when you are eating those, make sure you make it a priority to have all three macronutrients in those meals. So make them very colorful, bright, fun, and awesome to enjoy. Because when you make them blah and it's just the same thing over and over again, I don't know if I have to go much further with that one. If it's yuck, if it's not seasoned right, if it's just not good at all, and it's not exciting to you, it's not sustainable. I'm telling you right now. If it's something that you're falling off constantly and then you're trying to get back on track and then you're falling off and you're constantly getting back on track, falling off, starting over, falling off, starting over, that may not be the diet that's good for you. Maybe try something like measuring your food out. And that can be using your hands. Now, that can also be food logging, whatever it is that works best for you, just to show you how you are able to add a little bit more calories into your diet and see how you're feeling. It's almost mostly a trial and error for your calorie intake. You definitely don't want to eat less than 1,200. But you want to eat a safe calorie deficit for you, which is going to be your weight times 10. This is really easy. Your weight times 10 is a safe calorie deficit to keep you going and keep you energized and also to feel good. Now, if you are feeling and you have cravings, you guys, if you have different cravings, such as like salty sweets or just salty, or I just need to pick up those potato chips, I just need to have some. Find some different options, right? So there are plenty of options out there, but there's just kind of overwhelming to see which works best for you. But if you like those salty, delicious potato chips, guess what? We got an option for you. So there's an option, and they are called Quest chips, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is not sponsored, okay, guys? But I love them. I tell my clients all the time, if you are one of those salty, snacky type of people, grab some of these. And then the next time you are feeling for one of those, it has protein and it makes you feel full. And it's only a little bag. Yes, a little bit more expensive, but if you're not always eating chips, they're worth it. Find one flavor that you like the most and then go from there. And on the sweets, find something like almonds with chocolate. Something, if you don't like chocolate, find your protein shake. Whenever I feel that I have a very sweet tooth, honestly, try some cereal. If you like cereal, it is only 120 to 150 calories per serving size. And usually it's a pretty good amount. Measure it out, use a mug so you're not using as much milk. And the milk that you choose, you can use whichever one. Now, if you want to go lower calorie, try to use some of the almond milk, oat milk, something that's not high in fat, something that's not going to be extremely calorie dense, and you'll feel a lot better about consuming that rather than going to all those candies and then all of those cravings that you've been having that you feel bad about. I'm not saying that you can't have that Snicker bar or you can't have one of those delicious paydays or one of those candy bars that you're really craving, because some days it calls for one of those, right? But just adjust your calorie intake. The next part of the, yes, sir, unsweetened applesauce. There you go, Trey. That's right. Sugar-free Jell-O or fruit. Yes, I love it. Yes, definitely have all of those. Fruit, I'm always going to tell you to go with, because they have very low calories, but they're very nutrient dense. So you can have a ton of them and you didn't go over your calories for the day. But you also feel really great about the decisions that you made for that. So in general, there's no a specific time that you should eat or not eat. Because when you are programming yourself to do something like that, you're going to end up really hungry and then all of a sudden go back to a binge eating. And then you're going to start back where you didn't want to start back up again. So make sure you're feeding your body, just so you are not not so hungry that you're going to binge eat. All right. What are some other questions that you guys have? I know that was one that I've been asked quite a few times, and I actually used to deal with that question quite often when I was going through my weight loss goal and phase when I was younger. So I'm going to go over another thing for you guys. With that being said, the fruits and all of the delicious sweet tooth that you might have, there's also the sugar question. Is there a good sugar and a bad sugar? Well, you guys, sugar is sugar. There's no good, there's no bad. So it's not that you're, oh, let me get the good sugar. There is no just good sugar. Sugar is sugar. Unfortunately, sugar is sugar, but it's good. But there's also substitutions that you can use that are 0 calorie. And your fruits and your vegetables contain sugar, but they also contain your micronutrients. So you have your vitamins, your minerals, and your fibers. So these are all things that will help your gut health and will help you digest food a lot easier. So when you're choosing some type of a sweet tooth or sweet candy or something that needs sugar like your coffee, go to a sugar substitute such as stevia that's a natural and 0 calorie sweetener. When you eat it, you're not going to get any calories, but your body's going to use it, and it's also going to digest it without having to use or intake the extra calories. So if that's an option for you that you like, find something that works best for you. Now with your fruits and a lot of vegetables do have sugars as well, but they just taste a little different. So if you're looking for more fruits, go for those. Some fruits have a little bit more sugar than others, but they all have vitamins and minerals and fibers in them. So that's going to help you feel better about the decision that you made. You're going to eat less calories, but you're going to end up eating more fruit. And then you'll be able to feel more energized, and you won't have this crash during the day. You won't feel like you just ate a ton of sugar. Now you got the sugar highs, and then you got the low. So that's another really good question I want to address for you guys. Hopefully you're finding value in this. If you are, put some fire emojis in the comments. I want to hear a couple wins if you have them from today. If one of your goals was to drink a gallon of water, did you hit that today? Or if it was to drink 8 glasses of water, did you hit that? Was it to walk 10,000 steps? Did you hit that as well? What are some goals that you hit today? And it doesn't have to be fitness goals. It can be career driven. It can also be in your personal life. What are some things that you went ahead and crushed today? And what are you trying to crush this weekend? What are some things that you want to accomplish this weekend? That's something that I like to hear from you. All right, thank you. It's good to see you. Sorry, I'm getting I need some water real quick. Now, there are some other things I want to address too. So when you are on your fitness journey and you are trying new things and you're just struggling, maybe you're not seeing the results you really want to see. Yes, nutrition is a very intense and extreme thing you do need to look into. But if that is all going well, what is another option for you if you've hit that plateau, right? If you've hit a plateau, you're kind of at the same weight and you're not seeing any changes and you're only staying the same. You're not seeing any pant size smaller. You're not seeing your shirts fitting differently. What are some things that you can do in order to see different changes? Now, there's another piece of the part to look at, and that could be your programming. So that's like your exercises and what you do during the week, how many times you're doing it during the week, which is your frequency, and how intense the exercise and the workouts are. So you can just turn up the workouts a little bit more. Instead of lifting those 15s, go for the 20s and higher. For your leg days, you should be going as heavy as possible with good form. Obviously, if you're a little nervous, go with the lower weight, and then from there, get a little higher weight once you get a little bit more comfortable. So, sorry guys. Woo, get a little cotton mouth there. Gotta have some water. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're just going over questions that I have been addressing. But if you have coming up with, if you are, let me start that all over again. If you're coming up with some questions, please ask them. I'd love to address them for you. Right now, we're going over how we can adjust our workouts and our exercise and our programming for the plateau that we may have hit. So if we're just staying at the same thing, obviously, you guys, I just want to make sure that you know weight loss is not a linear. It's not a linear line. It's not a linear line. It's not a linear graph. So it's not going to be a straight line going down, right? You're going to always have these ups and then downs. You're gaining and then you're losing, then you're gaining, then you're losing, then you're gaining, then you're losing, then you're gaining, then you're losing, right? So on that note, that's a plateau that you hit. Sometimes in the workouts or in your nutrition, you're just not seeing the results you've been wanting to see. You're not seeing the inches come off, but you're seeing the weight gain, or you're not seeing the weight loss, but you're seeing the inches come off. There's so many different things that tie into what weight loss is and what your goals can be and how we can overcome that plateau that has come at that time. So one thing that I have learned since being a personal trainer is not if there's a plateau, because there's always going to be a plateau. Even in your training, if you're an athlete, even if you're training every single day for the last 4 or 5 years, there's going to be a plateau. It's not if there is, but it's when is it? And are you prepared, right? So let's talk about the exercises, the intensity and frequency. So if you have it available in your schedule, add another day in, right? If you're already doing an hour for 4 days a week and you can't add any more time during those days that you're already doing, add in one more day. And instead of doing an hour, maybe do a 45-minute hit, right? Just adding another day. Or if you can't add another day, on the workouts and the exercise that you're doing already for the 4 days for the hour, make it more intense. Do heavier weight with a little bit less reps, and then work to a higher weight level, whatever goal it is that you want to hit. So let's say you're doing a deadlift, right? Right now you're only doing 135 pounds, and that feels like pretty easy. You're getting through 3 sets of 12, right? And it's like, okay, I'm getting through them all at once. Now that may be why you're hitting a plateau. This is just for example. This is not specific to anybody. I'm just using this as an example for you all to for it to make a little bit more sense. So that's intensity. We want to work at those same exercises that you're already doing. So instead of changing it up, extreme changes like adding another day or adding a ton more exercises, stick with the exercise that you have. Make them a little more intense. Instead of doing 12 reps 3 times, pretty easy, add another 20 pounds on there and then only do 10 reps. See how many you can get. And then the next round, go ahead and add another 10 pounds. Then the next round, add another 10 pounds and do it 10 more times. Then the intensity has fired up pretty well. Now you're a little bit sweaty. Now your heart rate's up. So now your intensity has just skyrocketed. So now you're burning a little bit more calories because your heart rate is pumping, right? So that's another way that you can go ahead and get through that plateau. It doesn't always have to be, I need to fast because I need to lose this weight. It is, let me train a little bit harder on the days that I'm already going to the gym. Now, if you're doing core exercises or abdominal exercise regularly, that's where you can also see a difference in intensity change for your plateau. So if you're not seeing any changes in the belly or in the oblique area, add some different exercise for those. Don't make them so complicated though. You can be very basic exercises. Instead of doing a regular sit-up, do a sit-up and hold it at the top of the exercise for 5 more seconds every single rep you do. Now that's intensity. You're holding it now. Or you can do a plank, and instead of holding a regular plank, you're going to walk your feet back a little bit further, and that's going to intensify your abdominal region and make your abdominals work a little harder. That's an intensity. So you're not changing a lot of exercises, you're just changing the intensity of the exercise. So that's way we can break the plateau. Remember, your plateau is just something that is stagnant for a little while. It's not going to stay there very long. But these little tips that I'm giving you can help you break that plateau and see a little bit more change in your training and then in your goals, right? So you don't always have to look as nutrition. If your nutrition has, and you feel good about the food that you're intaking and the calorie intake that you are taking is good. It makes you feel very energized. But once you start turning up the fire on the intensity, you're going to get a little bit more hungry. So in that case, don't let your body go hungry. Eat a little bit more. I'm not saying eat a whole nother three more meals. I'm just saying simply, if you're having 2 eggs in the morning, have the 2 eggs and then an egg white. That's just a little bit more, right? We don't have to make this complicated. Make it really easy. I explain this to my clients a lot. Don't think you have to do this elaborate meal. Just add a little bit to what you're doing already, and then that's going to be your habit. You're not changing very much. You're just adding a little bit more to what you're already doing. So it's not an extreme habit change, but it's helping you feel good, energized, and great about the routine that you've been doing. So now you're more successful, and then you broke through the plateau, and then now you're seeing more change. So this is all things that you can go ahead and do every single day and look at your workout program already. It doesn't always have to be a ton of cardio, you guys. If you're wanting to lose the weight, cardio isn't always the go-to. You can always take your rest times, take less rest time. So if your rest time is a minute, do 45-second rest. If your rest time is 45 seconds, do 30. If your rest time is 30, do 20. And if you're doing 4 exercises, do one right after the other, and then rest for 30 seconds, and then do the whole thing again, rest for 30 seconds, do the whole thing again, rest for 30 seconds. You're gonna get through your workout pretty quick, but you're gonna be a lot more tired, and you're gonna burn a lot more calories because you're not taking a lot of rest. So you're constantly working. It's not a bad thing. These are just different ways to turn up the intensity in your exercises. Hopefully this is helping you guys. I hope this is bringing you guys a little bit more value. This is what I talk, this is how I train my clients. Now, when I'm in-person training, it's a little different. And for my boot camps, I don't give a lot of rest because we got a lot of work to do. So in that way, there's nonstop work. You're getting what most people will get done in 2 or 3 hours, you're getting done in 45 minutes or an hour, depending on what it is I'm having you do that day. Now, another question is, I like doing cardio. Is that okay if I still add that into my weight training? Of course it is. It's not really, it's not a bad thing to still have cardio, right? It's not a bad thing to have cardio. It is a great thing to have cardio, especially if that is one of your goals. I like to get steps in. I like to run. I'd love to run if I could 6 days a week, 6 miles a day, but my body just, I built it up to try to get to 6 miles, but that's my limit. Like, that's all I can do. I wish I could go longer, but my body tells me, yes, 6 miles is done. Your knee's starting to bother you. You're getting a little twinge here. I do 3 miles to 4 miles a day. It's all about how much you can do and build yourself up. Yes, you can be sore. Sore isn't a bad thing, but it's not always a measurement of how you want to measure a good workout, right? Soreness just means you're doing something different and you've changed up. You've changed up your intensity. You've changed up the frequency. Maybe you're doing it more days a week. Maybe you're doing it longer during the workout. Maybe you're holding different exercise longer. Maybe you cut down one exercise out because the other exercises you're lifting really heavy and you're not able to finish out the workout in the hour that you have. So these are all different things you want to look into when you are trying to go through your exercise programs. I think I was going somewhere with that and I kind of forgot where I was going. If you guys remember, I kind of went off on a limb there. So if you remember where I was going, with that, go ahead and put something in the comments. But I remember this is a Q&A, so I'm just addressing questions that are common things that I have dealt with previous clients that I have now, with others that I've had on the phone, things that I can address for you and let you know that this is all going to happen. Like, now, what is a program? What are things that you like to do? Oh yes, that's what it was. I'm going to go back. Rewind. Rewind. We're going to go if cardio is okay to still do with weight training. Yes, it is very okay. I still put in a mile and then I do exercises, especially for leg days. That's a great way for me to get more cardiovascular work and to get my heart rate up the whole time and really push my legs in different ways. So building up the intensity, that's another way you can build up intensity. Put a sprint in between each of your leg exercises. Obviously, if there's room, if you're at a gym that's really packed, you're probably not going to get a treadmill and be able to do deadlifts unless they allow you to bring the dumbbells next to the treadmill. That's something that you would have to be able to address. But different things like that. Put your cardio in there. Now, if you want to accomplish a cardiovascular workout, like I said before, take the rest times down and then just keep doing exercise after exercise and then rest for 30 seconds after 4 or 5 exercises. Then you're putting your cardiovascular in. You don't always have to run. You don't always have to do a bike. You don't always have to do sprints. You can do the jump rope. There's so many different cardiovascular exercise that you can put in and light the fire in the same workout that you're already doing. So you're not changing much. You're just adding one more exercise. And then with all the rest periods that you've had, if you take those down, you're not actually adding in more time to your workout. It's going to be the same amount of time. You're just putting another exercise where you've had a lot more time to rest. So that's up to you if that's something that you want to do. But I'm going to wait for a little longer, see if you guys come up with some questions so you can ask. I feel like I've been just talking away, and I like to talk, but I also like to address some questions that are specific to you and your goals. I'll try and come up with another one that I've heard. Oh yes, one more, you guys. Does protein make you fat? Dun, dun, dun. No, it does not. No, it does not. But your body still digests it and stores it just like it would have energy. So if you're consuming a lot of protein, it's okay. Everything gets turned into carbohydrates. So remember, your main source of energy is carbohydrates. So don't forget to eat your carbohydrates. If you're feeling like you're a little too low in the energy, bump up your fruits and vegetables. If you're looking to replace some of your pasta choices because they're a little bit too starchy carbohydrates, grab some protein spaghetti, protein pasta. Telling you guys, that is a great way to get some more protein intake. Most of the time, you're going to be having to, if you're really, really into getting some more training in and you want to see more results, you're going to have to up your protein intake. So what that means is you're going to have to do, for women, 0.8 to 1.0. That's how many times your weight is just how many grams of protein you're going to want to intake. Now, it just depends. Now, I'm doing one, or males are 1.0 to 1.2 or 2, depending on what your goals are. If you're training a lot and you're burning a lot of calories and you want to build muscle, you got to hit the 2.0 or the 2.2. Times your weight comes to the grams of protein you want to intake a day. So that does sound like a lot. So if you're not hitting that, those different ways to get in, like your proteins, noodles, getting some more protein shakes is also going to help you to feel good, because the more lean proteins that you eat, they take a lot longer to digest. Remember, your body has to use more calories and more energy to digest those proteins. And within that, you're able to get the repair and the recovery that you need for your muscles. So protein will not make you fat unless you're intaking like an ungodly amount. I mean, you have to intake a lot. of protein in order to get fat. Now, yes, if you're intaking a lot of fatty proteins, like you're going out to eat and you're picking up the fast food that's going to be your processed protein, yes, you can gain weight. But if you're just intaking lean protein meats, you're not going to necessarily gain weight. But to answer your question, everything gets turned into carbohydrates. So if your body, and that's another rumor, is if your body uses it, it just goes right out. That's not the case. Your body's still going to use it, and then it's going to store it. So if you're intaking 7,000 calories, that might be why you're gaining weight, or you're drinking a ton of alcohol throughout the week. That can be a reason why you're gaining weight. If you are going out to eat and you're eating 2 McDonald's burgers and 2 fries for lunch, and you're also intaking like 17 eggs, a pound of potatoes. So what I'm getting at is you have to eat a lot of calories in order for weight gain. So if you're not eating a good amount of calories, which is a good deficit for your body, your weight times 10, then you're not going to lose weight. Your body needs energy to lose body fat. So slowly intaking calories to reach your safe deficit is going to help you, but don't do it right away. Remember, eating is not going to make you fat unless you're overeating like thousands and thousands and thousands of calories. If you're intaking 5,000 calories in the morning, 5,000 calories in the afternoon, and 5,000 calories in the evening, that's 15,000 calories. Or that's 9,000 calories. So that's almost close to 10,000 calories a day. Yes, you're going to see weight gain. Yes, you're going to see weight gain. And it's not the weight gain that you want to see, like muscle weight gain. It's going to be fat weight gain. So if you're not even intaking the amount that you're supposed to be for regular bodily functions, you're not going to see any weight loss because your body is storing all of it because it doesn't know when it's going to eat next, right? So it's going to store it and store it and store it and store it and store it. Back here, back here, back here, down here, on your butt, on the thighs, cellulite. That's where it's going to store it. So that's why you're probably not seeing weight loss or fat loss. You're not seeing your legs tone up because we're not eating enough. So I can't stress it enough. Look at the calories that you're intaking right now. Food log it for a week or two and see where that goes. See where that goes. If you're adding another 200 calories to each day, 200 to 300, it's not a lot. It's like another protein, like a yogurt bowl. A little yogurt, it's like 150 calories, and another protein shake. That's another 200 to 300 calories right there. That's not a lot of food. So you don't have to feel bad about like, oh my God, I have to make a full meal. No, not at all. You just have to eat small things to get to 300 calories. So if you add that 300 calories in for the next 2 weeks, see how you feel. See if you've seen any fat loss. Because once you start eating more and you start noticing that you are seeing fat loss and weight loss, there's your answer. All right, guys, I haven't seen any questions come in, but I've been talking for a long time. I hope you guys have found value in a lot of the questions that I've addressed tonight. Thank you so much for every one of you that has joined in. I love every single one of you. I just love educating you on your fitness journey and bringing some things to light that probably have come up in your fitness journey or just in life in general. But remember, crush every single day. There's going to be days where you're going to feel like, I don't know if I can do this, but just remember how strong you are and what you've been through in the past, because that's why you're stronger than you were then. You're stronger, way stronger now than you were before. Take a deep breath and then let it out and then get to it. All right, Troy, I will go to bed. I'll rest for tomorrow because tomorrow is Saturday and I have my boot camp. So if you guys are interested, hit me up and I will give you all the details. I do offer Zoom. I do offer it over Zoom, so you can go ahead and live stream it So let me know if you're interested. DM me and I will give you all the info. It is $10 either way if you do a Zoom or if you're in person. All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. I love you all so much. Good night, guys. Bam. Wait, I saw something. London Bush. Yes, you are welcome. Okay, Carla, you're welcome. Hardy Bates, love you. Oh, I'm pushing stuff. I love you guys. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening here. I'm pressing buttons.